Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk specifically about American freedom in the days of the Vladimir Putin caves and clubs question. Okay? What we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the district attorney of San Francisco, Chesa Boudin. All right. So, and this really involves justice. This huge question that is looming across every aspect of American life now. Where is justice? Where is justice? Right? So I listen to the Slate Political Gabfest, and one of the reasons why I do is the three people, David Plotz, Emily Bazelon, John Dickerson. They're absolute geniuses, and they're connected to a ton of people in the world, right? So they covered this story about American politics recently, talking about Chesa Boudin, right? And David Plotz said to Emily Bazelon, hey, can you explain to us why Chesa Boudin, the district attorney of San Francisco, is now facing a recall? All right. Now, just so you're aware, 3 people in San Francisco were recently recalled over education because the people of San Francisco were like, hey, we were really wanting you guys to like educate our children, and it seems like you guys were involved in a whole bunch of stuff other than educating our children, right? And they recalled 3 major education officers within San Francisco. So David Plotz says, hey, why is Chesa Boudin the district attorney of San Francisco facing a recall? And it was fascinating because Emily Bazelon said, well, first of all, I have to like recuse myself. I have to actually not even recuse herself. She's like, I got to explain my alliances. I taught Chesa Boudin, right? Like at Yale, right? And she said, and he was a very innovative, progressive district attorney, and what he's doing in he's very progressive. And because he's progressive, like there are PACs, political action committees, that can draw up money and can literally target officers of the, people who have important roles within American cities, and they can try to, so the real reason is that some millionaires got upset with Chesa Boudin and they're trying to take him out, right? And actually, it was crazy because David Plotz was like, can you give us the answer, like why Chesa Boudin? You gave us why people are upset with Chesa Boudin, but you didn't tell us what Chesa Boudin did, right? Chesa Boudin did, right? So she like says, yeah, you got a good point there. I gave you the structural answer of how this can occur. I'll tell you why it's occurring. And so basically what's happened is in San Francisco, and actually, I think President Obama was one of the first people to start this. So President Obama essentially decriminalized 420, right? Rather than doing the hard work of fixing the laws, he just told the officers, these laws are on the books. I want you to ignore these laws. And when you shortcut things and you don't do the hard work and you try to do it the quick and easy way, problems occur. And that's where we are right now. So Chesa Boudin went further, and he's like, let's add a whole bunch of things that are crimes, and very much crimes on the books, but we're going to decriminalize them. And now we're in this world where the average citizen and San Francisco citizens are like, why don't all laws matter, right? Like, why on earth are we decriminalizing some laws, and we as citizens, we're living with the ramifications of this. And there are a lot of things that are happening in our city that are clearly against the law, and yet there seems to be no justice for any of it, right? So why do some laws matter and other laws don't? And how, as a San Francisco citizen, how on earth am I going to know what laws to obey and what laws I can ignore, right? Like, that doesn't make any, we thought laws were laws because you can't go against the law, but now the whole nation is like, well, laws are laws until they're not laws. Like, and everybody's like, how is this working? And in San Francisco, right now, with Chesa Boudin, they are saying this isn't working, and we literally want you gone, and we want somebody to come in and prosecute laws the way a prosecutor does, right? So how does this land with Vladimir Putin? Well, here's the question, right? Chesa Boudin is a San Francisco district attorney, right? What on earth should he have to do with international discord, right? What on earth does it have to do with Vladimir Putin? Well, believe it or not, I think a lot. It has a lot to do with Vladimir Putin. And the reason why is Chesa Boudin's recall was about to happen in an American context, and people were like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Is there this, what's happening with with this American problem?" But right now, this is going to play out on the national stage, right? And this question that Vladimir Putin has put in everybody's face and saying, "Hey, I'm a bald-faced villain. I'm doing things that you know are wrong, that I know are wrong, but there's no justice. It's gone." Right? You live in a world with no justice, right? And I think that this is going to make the Chesa Boudin situation 10 times worse for Chesa Boudin. And when people are saying, "Hey, we think you didn't carry out justice," right? That was a problem before in America. But when America is looking every single day and seeing shocking evidence that villainy goes unchecked and that justice is nowhere to be found on the global stage, that could very much tilt the people of San Francisco's opinion of Chesa Boudin. And much more importantly, this Chesa Boudin story can very easily spike into a national story that really is a proxy for every American's question right now. I shouldn't say every, for a large number of Americans right now, where they're saying, where is justice? I think that Chesa Boudin is going to have a much harder time fighting off his recall because of Vladimir Putin. That's my opinion. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.